in August of 2006. I don't have any information on the arraignment, and obviously he is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt in a court of law. I'd like to extend my sympathy to Renee's family for all they've been through. This has been a long, hard road. It's not over by any stretch of the imagination, but at least we're on that road at this point in time. I'd like to thank Sheriff Michelle for her dedication in allowing her investigators to work with my office and bringing a charge in this case. This started approximately 2 years ago. The Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan has a cold case review team. They contacted me saying, hey, does Kent County have anything that they may want to review? And the Pagel case came to mind. So I reviewed the file, went through the boxes that were in the Sheriff's Department's files. I prepared a report. I had Kelly Konski and Dan Helmer, the two prosecutors from my office that were assigned to this. They made a presentation, got some ideas, and the ball essentially was rolling from that point. And it's been a long thing. It's been 2 years. Investigative subpoenas, other scientific. Thank Joel Schultze and the Michigan State Police Crime Lab for all their assistance in helping us out with this. But it's been a process, and we can't get into too many details at this point in time. But obviously, they led to these charges that we filed yesterday against him. This, like I said, it's just the beginning of the criminal justice process. And I appreciate the patience that the families had for recognizing the difficulties of this case and everything that they've had to go through, but keeping Renee's memory alive through all this that motivated the Sheriff's Department. I know motivated the people in our office as well, because we knew this was an important case for them, and it's an important case for the community in Northern Kent County. So Silent Observer has been a tremendous help, the Michigan State Police Crime Lab, the Sheriff's Department. It truly is a team effort to bring a case like this to this stage at least. And it's going to be a further process as we work through the criminal justice system. So we wanted to announce that. I think Sheriff Michelle's got a few words she wants to say as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of back up to the beginning of this case and just kind of give the case facts as we know them up until this point. So on August 5th, 2006, we were called to a location in Cortland Township, which is in northern Kent County. First responders there located the body of Renee Beth Pagel, who was deceased from obvious trauma. There were no signs of forced entry into the home, and there were valuables left in plain sight throughout the home, so it kind of ruled out the fact that it was a theft. Through the course of the investigation, detectives learned that Renee was nearing the end of a contentious divorce with her estranged husband, Michael Pagel. And following Renee's death, the initial investigation had run its course with no charges filed and eventually was classified as the cold case. Although we did work on this case subsequently throughout the years as new information might come to us, we were not making any progress on this case until the initiative that Prosecutor Becker was talking about. However, following that initiative and following some of the interviews we were able to do, we were able to locate additional evidence which has been crucial in charging Michael with this crime. And we are glad to say that as of this morning, early this morning, he was put into custody in the Bay City area by Michigan State Police working in conjunction with our investigators. He is now lodged at the Kent County Sheriff's Office, and his court will proceed from there. And at this point, we're happy to take questions. I just want to echo some of what Prosecutor Becker also said. I had a number of investigators that have worked on this case, some of them literally from the very beginning in 2006. So I want to thank Lieutenant E.J. Johnson, Lieutenant Jack Smith, who's now retired, Captain Mark Fletcher, who's now retired, Detective Sergeant Bill Marks, and obviously the prosecutor's office, and then also Sheriff Stelma, who made sure that this case continued to be on our workload all these years before I took over and now this point forward. We are very pleased that we are able to give any peace to the family and friends of Renee and hope that we can move this case to closure here in the months to come. With that, anybody have any questions?
After all these years, what was the big break in this case that led to this arrest?
We're not able to give you that.
It's going to be revealed over the course of the process, but I can't. There's not necessarily one big break. I think there's a number of different things. So you'll find out, I guess, as the court proceeds.
Can you tell us if some of those small breaks happened at his home that he was staying at during the time they were separated?
No.
In regards to the new evidence that you found, are you able to say if any of that is physical DNA evidence, anything that directly links in?
No, we're got to stay away from that. That's one of the things, in terms of the rules of ethics, even the sheriff's department is kind of bound by what it controls by prosecutors, the rules of professional conduct, and really anything that could possibly taint a jury, we can't get into too many details. You obviously know the facts of what, the initial homicide, but in terms of what led us to this point specifically to be able to file charges, it'll come through the court process.
Just in regards to our suspect, Michael Pagel, was he originally cooperative with the investigation, or has it been a wash all the time?
I can't really speak in detail what his level of cooperation with the case has been. At this point, he has not made a statement.
Can you talk about his arrest? I know you said the Bay City area where he was at, or if he put up any fight or anything like that.
We worked in conjunction with Michigan State Police, so our personnel were not there at the point of arrest. I have no reports of any issues taking him into custody this morning. And again, we've had no problems bringing him to be lodged here at the Kent County Sheriff's Office.
So he had been living over in the Freeland area for several years. Was he arrested at his home? Freeland and Bay City obviously are quite a distance apart.
He was located at a vicinity in Bay City. Was not arrested at his home.
Was it his place of employment?
He was not arrested at a building.
Traffic stop, perhaps?
I believe it was a traffic stop, but I don't have the specific location of the stop. Yeah.
Can you talk about what this means after all these years? I mean, 2006, that's a long time. Obviously it went cold, then you brought this case up again. What does this mean?
Well, I think probably talk to the family members probably means, what impacts them more than, anybody else here, obviously. But what it means, I think it shows just the dedication of law enforcement. We've talked for some time about doing a cold case unit, trying to get funding for. There's a lot of cold cases out there. I mean, this one got a lot of notoriety. There's been a lot of attention over the years, and I think that's a credit to the family. But there's a lot of cold cases out there that could possibly be solved. And I think with advances in science and just there's been a number of cases. Pagel is one from the city of Grand Rapids. Cases sometimes can be solved even years later, and so there probably is a need for some sort of cold case unit where we can maybe devote more time, because it's a lot of
time.
A lot of resources. I mean, how many investigators did you just say? So
right.
you can probably speak to that.
Many of them literally spent years investigating this case, thousands and thousands of investigative time. But I think it's important that every family of every victim out there knows we're not going to give up. We're going to continue to work on it until there's resolution to this case, because they don't ever give up. They don't ever forget about it. So it's important that, as we're investigating incidences, we always try to look back and see, is there something that has changed in time? Is there something more available now? Or like the prosecutor said, evidentiary science changes, which can impact some cases as we look back. So all of that's really important for us to continue to do and make sure those families know we didn't forget, just like you haven't forgotten.
Today's got to feel good.
Was there new technology that had changed things for you?
I can't speak to this particular case, but those are some of the things you consider when you decide to open up a cold case again.
But today's got to feel good.
Today feels great.
Was there anything that your office found particularly special about this case? It sounds like your staff really went out of their way to look back into things. Anything in particular that struck your staff about this case?
Yeah, not particular. I mean, I guess just the maybe the brutality of it. I mean, that giving justice to the family, looking at what exactly occurred, and at that point in time she had young kids, so that strikes a chord with I think anybody. So those are some things that really stuck out, I guess, that it sticks in your mind. You want to provide for those kids and that family for something like this that happened.
Well, do the kids know this was coming? I think there are a couple of adults now, but did you talk to them beforehand?
We have communicated with the kids as these charges were coming to fruition in the last couple days, and as he was being brought into custody. So yes, we have had a conversation with them.
Do you know if they're supportive of him?
I can't speak to that.
What was their reaction?
I can't speak to that.
clarification, going back, he was such a person of interest and a prime suspect, if you will, for 14 years. Going back to the original investigation, can you clarify what his alibi was, where he said he was at the time, that it was hard to not put him there?
No, I can't.
Anything else?
Thank you. I just want to thank you so much.
We're glad it worked out this way. And that we're able to-
Still, it's, this is, like I said, this is just the first step. There's no guarantees going forward, and there's a long road ahead. So, obviously this gets us on the road, but the end of the road is still quite a ways. The criminal justice process can take a long time, and there's a lot of twists and turns. So, I don't want to. We got to this far. We'll see what happens.
Any word on arraignment?
I don't know. You guys always ask us that. It's always up to the courts.
You probably know before we do. So.
Well, what did you actually authorize on the warrant? Was it felony murder?
First degree murder, not felony murder. First degree murder. First degree premeditated murder. Maximum penalty, life without parole.
All right. Thank you guys very much for your attention and coming in this
Last
morning.
thing, I'll send the mug to your news desk, and if you want it directly, just send me a text and I'll send it over to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Veterans thing. Yeah.
We also had a